Shalom. Call Halim La Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahawashi Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And a sincere shalom to the 144,000 and 1/3. So diving in straight to the point. Let's go to St. Matthew, the first chapter. In verse 20. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of Yahweh appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David. So Joseph, his lineage, which was I believe it was listed listed here. All right. The lineage of Joseph, which is Yahawashi's father, which is the lineage of Yahawashi. So this straight up lets you know that Joseph went into Mary to impregnate her, and then she gave birth to Yahawashi. I mean, it's plain as day, right? Genealogy says Jesus the Messiah, but it's Yahawashi. All right. So this is I'm gonna reread it again. St. Matthew 1:20. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of Yahweh appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, which is intercourse, sex. All right. For that which is conceived in her is of the Rakakwadash, right? So Yahawashi is a special spirit. You know, his birth was far more impactful than any other human birth, because he was created a certain way to where he wouldn't sin. All right, and he was going to be the sacrifice for the sins of his people. Verse 21, and she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahawashi. All right, the angel did not say Jesus. It did not say, Yahushua. It did not say Jesus. It did not say any of those things. Spoke in Hebrew, all right, and this angel said Yahawashi. It did not speak Greek, English. It spoke Hebrew, Paleo-Hebrew. All right. For he shall save his people from their sins. And Yahawashi's people are the Israelites. He was from the tribe of Judah, Yahawada. Let's get that in, let's go to Galatians. Galatians 4:4. But when the fullness of the time was come, the Most High sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. So who was that? The Israelites. Is blatantly saying Yahawashi came for the Israelites. Right here. Let's get let's see. Let's go to, I'm trying to think. I'll just type this right here. Yeah, perfect. So this is St. Matthew, the 18th chapter, and verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. And if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as an heathen man in a publication. So Israelites can be heathens, all right? And all the Israelites became heathens because of the curses right here Jeremiah 17:4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage. What is the heritage of the Israelites? Being the Israelites, having the law, the statutes, the commandments, all right, that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou so knowest not. So they're going to get stripped of the heritage and put into captivity and under their enemies, all right, which as we know in the scriptures, that hasn't fully happened until, that came to pass. What it'd be 1492, 1619, when the Spanish landed here, and then when the Dutch, Amalek, Tiny Tops, and whoever else went and got the slaves in the west coast of Africa. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Now, of course, it's not literally going to burn forever, right? The Most High is going to be with his people. Let's get that. Yeah. This is Romans 11:1. I say then, hath the Most High cast away his people? The Most High forbid. For I am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So the Apostle Paul said no. And guess what? He's an Israelite from the tribe of who? Benjamin. Let's get this in St. John, the 11th chapter, and verse 50. Nor consider that is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not. And this spake he not of himself, being high priest that year. He prophesied that Yahawashi should die for that nation, and not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of the Most High that were scattered abroad. All right, which would be the heathen, the Gentiles, all right, the ethnos. But who are those specific? Are those literally Edomites, Moabites, people that don't have lineage to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? No, those are people that have those lineages, all right? They go back to the patriarch of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, into the 12 tribes. That's what is referring to here. How do we know that? Well, simple. Let's go to James 1:1. James, a servant of the Most High, and to the Lord Yahawashi HaMashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. If you go through pretty much all the verses, it talks about the diaspora, the scattering, the Israelites. This is written to you, all right? Like let's get, I'm just gonna click on something random, like Ephesians 1:1. Paul, an apostle of Yahawashi HaMashiach by the will of the Most High, to the saints which are at Ephesus, and to the faithful in Yahawashi HaMashiach. So guess what? Who are the saints? All right, because that's who it's written to, right? The saints. Who are the saints? Simple, all right? It's not a hard concept to understand. This is Psalms 50:5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. All right, so who is that? The Israelites. What's another one? Psalms might be 147 or 148. Let's go back to 147. Bear with me. All right, let me do this. See if that'll help me out. Nope. Ooh, it's kind of long. But I'll muscle through it, see if it'll pop up. Oh, all right. Psalms 148. Guess I just missed it. Psalms 148 and verse 14. He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, a people near unto him, praise ye Yahweh. I mean, can it get more plain and simple again? Let's see if we can read it in another translation. All right, I only got these. Don't really like them. Let's go to let's go to Acts, the book of Acts, the 5th chapter, and verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. The Most High of our fathers raised up Yahawashi, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree. Him hath the Most High exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. There you go. Can't get more plain than that, right? Let's go to, let's end this off in Romans. Actually, I'm gonna go to Acts again, but Romans 8 and verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And that's the only people that's going to get delivered. All right. Verse 17. And if children, then heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach, if so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. There you go. Let's get that. This is Isaiah 59:21. As for me, this is my covenant with them, saith Yahweh. My spirit that is upon thee, and my words which I have put in thy mouth, shall not depart out of thy mouth, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, nor out of the mouth of thy seed, saith Yahweh, from henceforth and forever. There you go. That's that joint heirs. That's that spirit beareth witness with our spirit. Why? What is that? What is the outcome of that? That you're an Israelite. All right. So you go by the spirit, not appearance. Because guess what? You can have Edomites looking like Jakes, like how Israel looked in the ancient world. Then you have Israelites looking like Edomites, not looking like how they was looking in the ancient world, or how how we'll look in the kingdom, right? Have a darker complexion, if you will. Let's go to Acts, the 2nd chapter. Yeah. Acts, the 2nd chapter, in verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews. All right. So who are these? These are people from the southern kingdom. These are Judites, Benjamites, and Levites. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. So guess what? These were southern kingdom Israelites that they knew that they were Israelites, but they lived in different lands. You know, they grew up there. They spoke the language of those areas, but they still knew that they were Israelites, whether they was raised or, you know, they found out later on when they got older, but they knew that they were Israelites. Let's reread that again. Acts 2 and 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven. Now when this was noised abroad, the multitude came together and were confounded, because that every man heard them speak in his own language. And I'll just skip down to verse 8. And how hear we every man in our own tongue wherein we were born, Parthians and Medes and Elamites and dwellers of Mesopotamia and in Judea and Cappadocia and Pontus and Asia, and so on and so on and so on and so on. But were they Elamites? Were they Parthians? No. In terms of like race, lineage, no, they were Jews. Right? Let's go into what a Jew is. Right? Belonging to the Jewish nation. Jewish as respects to birth, origin, religion. Of course, it's just Jew, if you will, which came from the Babylonian captivity, because the Babylonians and the stigma, you know, they just called all the Southern Kingdom Jews, which is basically just abbreviation for Judah, as you can see right here. Boom, Judea, which means you're the Southern Kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. It's a race, it's a lineage, okay. But guess what? They weren't born in the Holy Land. They were born amongst Elam, Egypt, Arabians. Who else? Got the Greeks, Romans. You know, but those weren't Greeks. Those weren't Romans. Those weren't, you know, those were Israelites. All right, that was living amongst them, because they were scattered. James 1 and 1, scattered abroad. All right. So with that, shalom.